Hello, hello everyone. Hello, Haley. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing so good. So happy to be here with you, my dear. So nice to see your face again.
I'm really, to put you in context, guys, I just feel so deeply grateful to have her right now in this beautiful episode. As you must see, it's a new face, new welcome guest here, and I'm gonna let her introduce her. But to put you in context, we have met during a beautiful trip in Costa Rica, and through those beautiful training that she's offered in yoga, in deepening the connection with the heart and understanding more the body, I think we became friends out of this and we connected heart to
Absolutely.
heart. And I am just
Absolutely.
so excited because we talked about many things that was very interesting to discuss in this episode. And I just felt so inspired to invite her. So I feel blessed that she accepted this extended invitation, Haley. Thank
Well,
you so much.
thank you so much for having me, and thank you for all the work you're doing in the world and bringing all these beautiful messages out and creating these spaces. It's not easy to do, and you're doing it beautifully.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. That means a lot. So, Haley, introduce yourself. Let us know what do you
Hello.
do and who you
Hello,
are.
hello.
And
Well, like you said, my name is Haley, and I am a yoga teacher here. I also dabble in sound healing and meditation and all those beautiful things that bring us back to our center, as well as having many different other aspects of self that come through, right? As we hold a lot of different areas in ourselves. But right now, my heart and my passion is yoga, and I'm so grateful to be able to teach that and to connect with people all around the world with that modality.
I love that. And beyond that, for what we're doing actively, I like to say that it's the heart and heart connection that allows us to really put forward what we share right now here. I really want to
Hmm.
put in the importance of how intentional and with love and kindness we want to do that. So it's just an open conversation. And if we can touch hearts, touch new perspective, then it's just the best gift we can receive, right?
Absolutely.
So the reason why I invited her, because we discussed about it a little bit when we met, we would want to discuss more and introduce a bit more the subjects around divine, feminine, and masculine, right? And even
Mhm.
before divine, what is actually this energy of feminine and masculine, right? Introducing us to this concept if it's unknown for you, and also understanding how does that harmonize and how does that affect and can impact your day to day into your relationship, into your business, your work, or just the relationship you hold for yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Um, I think that there's a lot to unpack, so we're gonna just try to see where that leads us for now.
There is. This is a huge topic that
Oh
we
my
could
God,
go
girl,
on
I
and
could go.
on and on with. It's a topic that I got so excited for because I got my degree in business. But gender studies became so fascinating to me during university that I took as many courses as possible, so much so that I ended up with a minor in gender studies. So I love the topic. And now, as I've progressed on my spiritual journey, it's become more into the divine aspects, the divine masculine, the divine feminine. And basically, it's a spiritual concept in which it becomes a scope in which we can view the world. So we live in a world of polarity, right? We live in a world of duality. So we have male, female, we have day, night, we have this cycle of light and dark that we go through. And so understanding this and understanding that each human has their own unique mix of masculine and feminine within, we can kind of begin to see the world as a dance, as a love story between the masculine and the feminine. So bringing those into harmony, not only within ourselves, but also within all of the relationships that we hold in this life. So it's a beautiful concept that so many different cultures, religions have in place. Like in the yogic philosophy, there's the Shiva and Shakti energy, the male and female energy. The Shiva energy is more of the consciousness, awareness. The Shakti is more of the creative force that brings everything into existence. Even in Egyptian culture, right? The Eye of Ra and the Eye of Horus, that was representing what was it, the god of the sun and the god of the moon. And so again, it was the masculine and feminine aspects coming together in harmony. So we see this all over the place. And so it's a really diving deep into understanding ourselves better as well as these two concepts that we can bring into harmony.
I love this, Haley. Look at you. Oh my goodness, diving deep right away. I love it. It's such a beautiful introduction, and it's a beautiful realization that actually, whether you've come to awareness or not, there is this polarity, right? And we can
Mm,
extend that in anything in life, right? Black or white, good or bad. People saying, success or not success. Like we've been grown into thinking in polarity, and the way we
mhm.
show up in everyday life has this certain polarity. But what we want to invite you to see is that within this polarity, there's a dance, like you said,
Mhm.
and there's a harmony to be found because those polarities do serve, right?
Yes.
So you've said it a little bit, the beautiful power creative force and creativity and putting action into play, the feminine more in the consciousness, the intuition. Would you want us to just introduce a little bit more? What would you mean into because you talk about gender. So I'm curious to know more
Mm.
about the gender roles versus what does that make the difference in the divine feminine, divine masculine, or just simply because I feel like there's so many, I feel there's misconceptions and people thinking that they talk about the gender, the male and female, and then when we talk about masculinity and femininity, it's not exactly the same understanding.
Mhm.
So yeah, introduce us a little bit what is masculinity and femininity per se. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and to precursor that, we have to it's not just about gender, right? It's not like women hold this and men hold that. No, we both hold both aspects. Because essentially we're coming from unity, coming into this world to experience separateness, right? We are all connected, we are all one, but we're coming in to experience more feminine energy, more masculine energy, depending on how we came in. So let's just say there is a full spectrum of this energy and people can have their own unique representation of it. And it's more finding that harmony within yourself of what feels right for you and where's your balance and understanding how that feels. But if we look at the kind of characteristics of each, we can look into the divine aspects. So the divine feminine is very much like you said, it's very nurturing, it's very receptive, it's very soothing, it's very healing. Like these are all natural things that come from the divine. These are the divine aspects of it, right? There's toxic aspects as well as in everything, the shadow aspects, but these are the divine aspects. And for the masculine, it's more action, it's active giving. Men forget that they're the active givers, right? Like the sun shining down, it's actively giving life always. And it's also a bit more logic, so if we look at even the different sides of the brain, that mirrors it, right? The right side of the brain is the creative aspect side, and the left side's the more analytical logic side. And it's interesting because then they cross over, and then when we look at the two sides of the body, the right side is the more masculine side, and the left side is the more feminine side, the yang and the yin on the body. So it's really interesting to see how those interplay within ourselves. So if we're looking at those characteristics of, receptivity, of holding space, of offering healing as a feminine, we just want to see how does that feel for us? Do we hold any resistance to these divine aspects? And then in the masculine as well, right? Am I leaning? Sometimes for a lot of women in this culture, we lean a lot on the masculine because we have to. This is the way society has been set up. We're still living in a society that was set up by men. It's shifting, we're changing. But yeah, kind of analyzing, am I leaning too much in that? Do I have to go too much into my doing, my logical, my putting guards up, right? And can I relax into my feminine a little more if I feel like that's what's needed for me? So it's this constant checking in with self to see, where am I? What am I holding? What feels good? What doesn't feel good? And again, it's going to be different for every single person out there.
Definitely. Wow, I
Mm.
love this. I feel inspired to see as well. There's a discernment to be made, and I feel like the concept of femininity and masculinity is being much more spread
Yeah.
worldwide than before, right? So people are much more aware whether their level of consciousness wherever they at, right? So that's beautiful to witness, right? And I
Mhm.
like to add that at the end of the day, if you want to really more understand, I think you really well explained it regarding the masculinity and the femininity. How does it show up more in your everyday? And the masculine way is not bad per se for women to experience it because it's going to pour out their actions, taking a lead for certain things, taking actions, like you say, being more in the creative force of doing it, the
The movement, right?
the movement,
Mhm.
exactly, the
Mhm.
motivation out there, the speaking word is it for me. It's like you said, the manifestation onto the physical of what you're actually doing and seeing, right? The
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
um you said it so
And the females,
beautifully.
the more the unmanifest, right? The kind of space, the
Exactly.
darkness where it all comes from. Exactly.
Exactly,
Yeah.
where you don't actually very see it concretely, but actually has such a power underneath in the and manifest, because at the end of the day, it's really everything you said is surrounding the heart and intuition, making you feel safe and making the others feel safe and in acceptance mode, right? So there's the flow.
Exactly.
It's talking, think about it as the mother nurturing, the motherly love, right? It's
Exactly.
all of this. And each one of us hold this polarity and
Mhm.
this both energy within. What I like to add is that what I feel like you said, like women has a tendency, we've been all, even men, like everyone have been overly into their masculine and
Yeah.
forgot this other part, right? And
Exactly.
that's what creates what? This unbalance, this level of stress we put ourselves, the pressure we put ourselves, this importance we put so much onto the physical and seen world to the
Yeah.
point that we are overstepping our boundary and forgetting the importance of emotions, feeling
Yeah.
safe, nurture, love,
Yeah.
emotional connection, everything that we're talking around the feminine, right? And
Exactly.
I think that what people are doing action wise, they're trying to do in the feminine because they've learned to do in order to get something in return in results in life. They started to
Exactly.
try to do feminine. And what
Mhm.
is happening is that you cannot do feminine. You can truly
Exactly.
just, right? You can truly just
Exactly.
embody the feminine, right? And
Mhm.
it's gonna show up beautifully in an effortless way. And I think
Yes.
that's where the bridge becomes a bit a challenge for many because we haven't learned to integrate the feminine the same way and learn to let go and learn to let go of control, because what we said is it's a lot around the control, around
Yeah.
the manifest, and how do we control the aspects of how we're doing things and how can we become more efficient, how can we speak better, how can we have a better return on investment, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So the
Mhm.
feminine part is going to be exactly what you said, the polarized way of just showing up with love and care and with
Yeah.
letting go. um,
Letting go. Mhm.
so I want to finish that before you jump in it. At the end of the day, some people gonna say, "Well, Macy, I was listening. I was not saying anything. I was just, letting the other person speak up and I was not trying to control the person, but where was your energy lying at that
Mm.
moment? Because
Mhm.
you might do an action that looks feminine, but where is your energy coming from? Does it come really
Exactly.
from a place of acceptance? Does it come really from a place of letting go of outcomes? And does it come from a place of trust? Trusting
Mhm.
of the other person that they're not putting you in danger, and
Mhm.
trusting in the person that you are safe as of now. So it's really important, I think, to learn the distinction between what is on the paper feminine and masculine and
Mhm.
per se the divine, like you said, and how do you actually can apply it and integrate it in action wise into the energy field actually of where you're
Exactly.
coming from.
Exactly, exactly. And I think what you touched on there is a really good point, is safety. And I think a lot of women, we don't feel safe. There's been a lot of programming out there where we have to be very careful about our environments and careful about the people around us. Whereas, yeah, the feminine energy, the divine feminine is a relaxation. It's a softening. It's a
Mhm.
receptive energy that allows, really a heartfelt energy and a womb space energy that allows ourselves to receive. And if we don't feel safe, we tend to block that, right? We just put up boundaries instead and just try to protect ourselves. So there really has to be a a woman needs to feel safe, and that can come through community, right? To having a strong community around her, feeling strong. It can come from a partner, having a partner to help hold, and it can come within as well. But women are such community-based beings that we really do need others. We need others to connect with and to hold that space for each other. And then magic happens. Right? We That's the other thing about the feminine. It holds the magic aspect. It holds the mystery aspect where we don't, like you said, we don't see what's happening. It's all in darkness, or the seed is planted underground and all this stuff is happening, but we see none of it in the surface. So we really have to relax into that energy of feminine and into the magic of it, the mystery of it.
I love that. I love that so
Mhm,
much. And I like to say too, what inspires me as well to say is that we talk a lot about men and women into the gender role. So I think
mhm,
the bridge we're making here is that whether you believe the biology or whatever we come from and how we've been built, we do believe with our experiences. I think I like to say it, our experiences that we're meant naturally as a woman, whether you represent a woman, whatever it is, as a woman,
mhm.
you are naturally been to be embracing more this feminine into your everyday
Mhm,
life. So we do hold the both, but to
mhm.
where I am from and what I've experienced personally, I rejoice much better when I'm much more in my feminine energy. I do have
Sure.
my masculine still, but it's not going to be 50-50 or 70% masculine and 30% feminine. I want to
Mhm,
give more space into my feminine energy on my everyday life because I feel
mhm,
that's where my nature is calling me to be. And I feel like where it's organically and biologically meant for us to be more into. And then we can touch base with the biological system of our hormones, the level of
mhm.
testosterone,
Yes.
estrogen, how we actually have our cycles, hormonal
Mhm.
cycles. So everything's built for us women, we're talking women typically, that is it's actually in the flow. We have a
Yes.
28-day cycle. We have to be in the flow. There's less rigidity. Our emotional and the components of how we think, the community base, everything has been kind of designed for us to embrace more our feminine energy. So that's why
Mhm.
when we talk about it, it's because the more you embrace your true nature and what you've been built into biologically to do, the more you can flow into life. And in the other
Exactly.
side, right, for the men, they're much more into rigidity in the sense that they're able to disconnect and detach and just be more into the doing because that's where they feel the most, if I'm not mistaken, which you understand where we're coming from. We're talking about the
Yeah.
subject where they're feeling much more fulfilled in
Yes.
doing something, seeing a result out of it and acting upon it.
Yes.
So that's why we want to, yeah, that's why we were touching base here, the beauty of who we are.
Exactly. And like being, choosing to be a woman in this life, right? Like coming in as a woman in this life. Obviously, again, like I said, there's an entire spectrum. You can be anywhere on that reflecting your personal
Mm.
expression of masculine and feminine. But like you said, what feels good is softening into the feminine right now, especially after having to be maybe a bit more masculine in a career or in society. So once we find that out for ourselves, then yes, our bodies are completely different. The male and female bodies, completely different. The hormones that are running through us, completely different. The masculine is on this 24-hour cycle where they get the testosterone hit highest at 9 a.m. and it slowly goes down throughout the day, right? I should say the morning, and it slowly goes down throughout the day. And that's consistent every day. They can
Yeah.
show up
And
exactly the
society is
same.
built on 24-hour schedule. Crazy when I've
Society
learned
is
that.
built on that 24-hour schedule, on the 9 to 5 work schedule, like it's built. They will feel good in that environment, right?
Yeah.
They will feel like they can achieve and achieve a success every single day. We are different every single day in the female body. Our hormones are different every single day. And my husband laughs. He laughs at me and sometimes like, you weren't like this yesterday. And I'm like, yeah, I wasn't like this yesterday, but today I'm like this. Because guess what? Things have changed in my body. So,
Hello.
exactly. So every day I'm going to be different. Every day I'm going to show up differently, right? And when we look at the menstrual cycle, which is, we're linked to, it's part of our experience. We go through menstruation, which is painful, which takes a lot of energy from us, and then we quickly come into ovulation, which really brings the energy up, our estrogen goes up, and there's so much more to be doing at that time. We are almost glowing at that time, really. I've even heard that the facial structure
Summer
changes at that
season.
time, right? It's that full moon season. We're bright, we're shining. And then we go through the ovulation, and then the follicular is before, I think, and then we go into the luteal phase, which is like the inner autumn. So it's like our slowly closing down. It's the slowly coming to that new moon where we want to be more quiet. We kind of get more frustrated with things, everything like that. And then we slowly get into menstruation again, right? And then that's really our winter season where we need to go within, be quiet. It's a perfect time for introspection. It's a perfect time for, um, journaling, inner work, planting seeds for our next cycle that's coming. So in these bodies, we are gifted this chance every month to go through this cycle, to have challenges, to feel the changes where men don't. And so I've always said that women have been gifted, challenged naturally in their body every month, and they get to grow from that. Men haven't, so they actually need tasks. They need challenges. They need to be out in
Mm,
the wilderness and putting themselves in challenging situations to rise to the occasion. So men really need that. They need that. They need to achieve. They need to feel like they are doing something of value to prove to themselves that they are
that's
the
their
protector.
language. Yeah, they feel this fulfillment.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
when you
And ours
what
is, go ahead.
no, no, go on, finish it. I
Oh,
really
I was just gonna say, yeah, ours is challenge. It's built into our bodies, right? All women know that. This isn't easy to go through these cycles. Um, but it's a beautiful thing. And when you get to appreciate each part of the cycle for what it is and harmonize with it, allow it to be what it is, then life becomes a little more fluid for us to work with and to work through.
I love
Hmm.
this so much. And I was going I'm trying to look at the time check here. I was
Hmm.
going to say about the subject of how it's important actually what were the benefits actually to take awareness to that, right? Because at the end of the day we're sharing with you this experience, but look within, raise this awareness of what are my cycles, how do I feel, is it true for myself that I do have those fluctuations? Because at the end of the day, fighting against what is natural for you to experience is just going to make your life much harder and painful along the way, right? And
Exactly.
you saying about this need for them to raise in challenges and find challenges outside of them because they don't have it. The fact that we do have those challenges in within and this beauty of capability of support, the pain support, this having this capability of resilience, this capacity of support is actually the power we have within as a feminine energy, guys. Because
Mhm.
as you rise into it, you are capable to offer this support system to the man with a
Yes.
en, man to all men, not just your partner. And I've been
Yes.
experiencing, I think we can share that in the next episode, but I've been experiencing more my divine feminine, guys. And oh boy, you cannot imagine the changes, the magnetism and the attraction I hold more into my life. Not just
Yes. Exactly.
attracting men, I'm talking about opportunities, about the flow of life, about the confidence that's pouring out of myself, about the easiness of living life more easily and let people help you and
Hmm.
move things around. And guess what? The people around you are happy to be coming into play with you because you're allowing them a space to feel nurtured and feel like they're serving and helping. So it's a mutual exchange that you're building more and more. So I wanted to say that the deepest benefits for you guys to honor your true self and your nature is going to serve you on the long term, on your success long term, the longevity, on your your happiness into your life.
Yes. I think that's a really good point that you're putting on like the to support yourself because yeah, we need to be able to support ourselves to do these challenges that come our ways, right? And it's a relaxation, like I said, it's a calming. And again, we're in a society where it almost feels like more action, more is always needed. So taking those moments to step back, to fill up, to receive, it just starts flowing. It starts flowing in. And it's just more the practice of us finding the ways to do that, right?
Love this,
Mhm.
Haley. I feel inspired to say, who knows, guys, maybe perhaps we could build a beautiful course online together and then help
Ooh,
women integrate this
love
feminine
that.
energy so we can
Yes.
show and prove, because I think you've done it, I'm doing it as well, to prove that it is possible to live in a modern society as today and still embrace our energy, feminine energy,
Hmm.
divine feminine, and still make things happen, still
Yeah,
progress in our projects. Okay?
exactly.
The reasons why sometimes we feel so depleted, disaligned, tired, unmotivated, like everything we do, we still don't have the results we want. May say, I'm working so hard, I'm putting so much hours, I'm doing so much. It's because you're not being aligned with your true self and energy where you can have more with less,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
You're
Exactly.
counterintuitively and counter nature wise working against your own nature. You're not listening and supporting yourself. Perhaps maybe we're judging here, but you understand where I'm going with this point. Is maybe
Absolutely.
you're not listening to yourself and your true need at that moment to take the
Mhm.
time to be in less resistance, and you said it, to be in relaxation mode.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And it's so important because yeah, we get depleted. We get depleted, especially women that have been working in this kind of 9 to 5 hustle. It doesn't matter where you are in your cycle, you have to do the same thing. And that's
Mm.
where it's challenging for us. So if we can find ways, this is where the beauty of being an entrepreneur is you can actually hold more space for your own cycle and for what you need every day. And so, the days that you're coming up to your menstruation, you can not have meetings booked. You can take it a little slower. You can, maybe even take a day off because honestly, we need it sometimes. And then when we get into our ovulation, we get into that, then we can plan our podcasts, we can go out in front of camera, we can give speeches because those are the times where we want to give that energy and where it's just naturally pouring out of us. So, yeah, really kind of honoring ourselves, our cycles, and bringing it into the entrepreneur space, the working space, it really helps align things
You're
for
gonna
us.
see, yeah, and it's you're gonna, as you rise into inner confidence, you're gonna rise in your capabilities into affirming yourself. And when you
Yes.
affirm yourself from a good, positive energy, you get what you need.
Yeah.
No matter where you are, no matter what's your position at work, guys, I really want to put that forward. And it's really inspiring what you said, Haley. And I want to say, I don't forget men as well. I myself
No.
have men clients, and
Yes.
themselves, what happened is that we've stopped looking at what our nurture calls into and what our true needs are. So there is men also that has lost their compass and they are into too much of their feminine, in the sense that they've stopped leading, they stop taking decisions. Some of them stop daring. Some of them stop
Mhm.
taking actions for what they really are and fearing taking action sometimes. So we're
Yeah.
talking about this shadow of the feminine going too much into a man, because a man, like you said, often going to feel fulfilled when they feel like they're serving, when they feel like
Yes.
they're acting, taking
Yes.
actions, when they feel like they're being part and helping and being part of something. And you can see here
Agreed.
the trend we're doing into a relationship romantically, partnership, into your friendships, and also into your work. But all is connected, right? So
Mhm.
you men out there as well, is by embracing your divine masculine, your masculinity, you will be
Mhm.
attracting also more opportunities. You will feel more fulfilled and more aligned and balanced in your everyday life.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's so hard for the masculine. I really feel for it. Although it's been the one in control, right? So they've had the privilege in that way. It's also been led by toxic masculinity. It's been led by these concepts that really aren't beneficial to anyone. For the feminine, it's about controlling and putting down, right? And we're done with that energy. That doesn't need to be here anymore. And for the masculine, it was like, don't be in contact with your emotions. don't show your emotions. The only emotion you're allowed to feel is anger, basically. And so they're blocked. They're locked up, right? So exactly like you said, if they can touch into the divine feminine as well, there's the softness there. There's the place where they can land and open and feel, and then move into the divine masculine, right? That active giving, that this incredible energy, this protective energy that they naturally have within them. It's a beautiful energy. So it's we've been working from a place that's not a healthy masculine or feminine, honestly. It's been a very
Yeah.
manipulative feminine that we've been working out of because that's the only way
Mm.
women could feel safe or have control in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But as society is shifting, as we're slowly coming to a more balanced society slowly, then we can start to actually look into these divine aspects and start building them so that we
Mm.
can create a society that's harmonious. Because after so many years of abuse and pain, it's natural for a woman to want to rise into power, the female energy to want to rise into power and control as well. And
Yeah,
that's
it
not what
makes
we're looking
sense.
for,
Yeah, I know.
right? And that's not
Everything
what we're
that
looking for.
wounded us as generations makes sense of where we are today as a society. I know.
Exactly.
But that's
Exactly.
exactly. So
Yeah.
we repurposing our true
Mhm.
nature, like you said,
And
and
we need
learning to
to
feel
move
safe.
forward into it, move forward into a healthy,
Forgive.
uh, yes. And that takes a lot of effort in the woman, in
Yes.
the heart of every woman. But if we can, we need to do that work, and we need to move to a place of harmony where we're both being elevated, we're both reaching that harmonious divine
Oh my
existence
gosh.
and partnerships.
Wow, what an introduction, guys. Just so you know, time is flying. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put a conclusion to our beautiful episode today. I feel inspired, but from what you said, to maybe we could maybe dive deeper into what is healthy now. Now that we've talked the masculine, feminine, the issues that came within, the balance out of it, the harmony and the needs of us coming back into this harmony, what does it look like? A healthy masculine and a healthy feminine, right?
Right?
And I feel like we love it so much about the romantic. Like I feel like we had to talk too about that in another
There
episode.
we go. We can
Oh
go into
my
the
gosh,
romantic side, the relationship side next
how,
time.
oh my gosh, how does it actually show up in a harmonious way? And
Yes.
you're truly gonna feel fulfilled in your role more and more as a divine and feminine. I've experienced it. It's beautiful. It's attractive. It's
Mhm,
it's exciting. It's sexy for both
mhm.
sides, guys. Right? Yeah. How do you feel?
I
Any
love it. Yeah, we'll save that for next time. I love it.
closing? Perfect. Any closing thoughts about what we discussed today whatsoever? Or
You know, just a prayer out for this whole humanity that we can open our hearts and open up to compassion and love and understanding and know that we are all one. We all come from the same source. We all return to the same source. We're all sharing this beautiful planet. So just a prayer out for humanity, for healing, love, beauty.
I love that. Thank you so much, Haley, for showing
Thank
up
you
that
so
way.
much.
It's so beautiful. And no, guys, that is just beautiful introduction. It's an invitation so you can bring awareness to yourself. And like you said, the spectrum of where you're at.
Hmm.
It's a journey. It's a
Yeah.
journey, guys, right? And you're gonna get to have this beautiful self-discovery. And from this self-discovery, you're gonna discover even more joy and happiness and deep, deep sense of love and joy. And it's already within. It's
Yes.
all within. That's the name of the podcast, by the way. So
It's all with, hey, that's
all within.
perfect, right? It's
It's
all within.
perfect. It's all within.
Exactly. It's a
So,
returning home. It's a
oh my
shedding of the
gosh.
illusions and a returning home.
Oh, I love this. Thank you so much again, Haley. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
my darling. Thank you so much.
See you on the next week episode. Bye.